Hi and welcome to today's podcast. I hope everyone's had the time and the headspace to kind of get to do a bit of knitting or some spinning or crochet, whatever sort of whatever fibre crafts you're getting up to. Yeah, I got these from Shilasdair yarns, and they're really nice. This is, I don't actually know what wool it is. I'm gonna put that down here, but it's really soft. I think it's lace weight, 2-ply. No, 4. Oh, it's 4-ply. Anyway, you can have a little look at those. And I thought, I was really tempted to get the indigo and tansy dyed stuff, because this is all naturally dyed on Sky by the Sky Dye company. And I was really, this is a hat kit for the, it's the Ciara Hat kit, but this is Cora 4-ply yarn. So that's not confusing. And I was so tempted to get the indigo and tansy, but in the end I thought, you know what, I'm the sort of person that'll leave it lying around or drop the hat and be like, ooh, I dropped the hat on some grass or in a wood or somewhere, and then I'd never find it again. But if it's in bright orange, I'll be like, ah, there it is. Yeah, and this is quite like another colour that I've got that I'm using at the moment, and that is JC Rennie, and it's called Spice, and it's kind of got this heathered effect as well. But I like naturally dyed stuff, so I thought I'll give this a go, and it's quite fun. It's like, it looks like a lot of boxes, but in a Fair Isle design. I think the lady made the design for her daughter, and there are so many colours, different colours of it in on the pattern the pages of the actual pattern. But sometimes the kits are like a yarn only kit, but this one has the pattern as well, so they just give you a Ravelry code. But I thought that'll be a nice little project. And actually on Instagram there was the hat in blue and red, like the boxes are in blue and then there's a red rib, so yeah, and there are matching fingerless gloves, so maybe anyway, but I've got to finish this first and then I'll do the gloves, and not start any other projects. Oops. Oh yeah, so that brings me on to Ravelry. Ravelry's, I haven't really gone on it recently, but to be honest, I think I only go on it to put projects on, and it takes so much time to put up pictures and do projects, especially when I'm the kind of person that ends up having about 10 whips on Ravelry, and I just go, I'm never finishing anything. So at the moment, post. I don't think I've got any wool coming. We have to try and get the postman to hide the wool. Last time I was showing you a bit of spinning that I was doing, some drop spindling. And since then, I've joined a local weavers, spinners and dyers guild, and that's a really great way to meet people who can give you ideas about how to go about spinning or weaving or dyeing, people who can tell you where you might get some wool from, all these kind of stuff. And it's always useful to hear different people's opinions on how, and techniques and things to see what fits for you. So
I thought I'd just show you something that I've been spinning this week, which I didn't really think that I was going to be able to spin, because it was really hard on the drop spindle. So it was that John Arbon wool tops. So this John Arbon wool top was called the Breckening, and it's got these lovely colours: green, pink, blue, black. And I've just got it on this bobbin that I've been spinning on an Ashford traditional that I've borrowed, just to see what sort of spinning wheel I might like. So that's just a single, but because I spun a single of the purple, you can see I've spun these two together: purple, black and blue and orange, and the green and pink, and I spun them together, and that's a 2-ply, but I might have done it. I'm not really sure about the technique there, but it knits up all right, so I am happy with that. And look at all those colours. My niece reckons it's very sporty, which is, yeah, it's probably true. Oh, there are wasps outside. They seem to be a bit crazy at the moment. They're following me everywhere. So yeah, that's what I've been getting up to spinning wise at the moment. My niece and I were making some little bracelets, which are really easy, and it's just something I used to do with my grandma. And it's just how you do a skein anyway. You just one person at each end. You get that twist. Oh. And then just tie it up. Makes a nice bracelet. And we used to do it with just any old wool that you've got, so that's quite nice. Yeah, we had quite a lot of fun doing that, and because I've got so many different colours in the wool tops that I've got, we made some quite nice colour bracelets. So I keep seeing Dorset buttons everywhere at the moment. I think something to do with Shilasdair yarns. There's a lady who does Dorset buttons, and I went on a workshop a while ago to do Dorset buttons, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a little go again and see if I can still do it, because I found some jump rings knocking about. And there's a little one, and I've just put just sewed a little et on it. And moving on from those Dorset buttons, I went into the garden and got a hazel. Where can you see it? There, you can see where the twig's poking out. I've just got a hazel twig and made it into a circle, and then I don't really know how I did it. It felt a bit like casting on and a bit like finger knitting. Anyway, so I cast on onto this circle, and then I just crocheted around from there, and then I crocheted 3 rows, and then I stopped, and then I started doing double crochets up into, I was going to make a hat, but actually it's quite a fun sort of headdress for a small person. It's not for me. But yeah, it was quite fun, and I thought if I had any more chunky wool I could make some more. Because I was watching, who is it? Might be Julie Hicks Textiles, who she put up something about circle looms the other day, and I thought, oh, I'll do a circle loom. And then I thought, oh, actually, you know, there's potential to make a hat. And then I kind of made this headband thing and or crown. So yeah, that was really fun to make. And it was really quick because obviously it's chunky knit and it's crochet, so that was really fun. I also managed to do a bit of dyeing this week, which is, I mean, spinning's, that's been quite fun, but actually spinning's been quite fun, but actually I really enjoy dyeing, and I collected some walnuts and buddleia a few weeks ago, and I just used this Wensleydale with an alum mordant, and this is just a rare breed black Wensleydale that I got from Home Farm Wensleydales. This brown is the walnut and this yellow is the buddleia. That my neighbour said that I could have some, so that was nice of them. And yeah, I just think brilliant colours. So I'm going to make a shawl kit out of those and I'm going to put it in my Etsy shop. I think I'll put some white in as well and maybe do like 150 grams, and then eventually I might try and make my own Wensleydale shawl. Otherwise maybe I'll just do the Wenny shawl that Gillian Merino does in her book Yarnitecture. So I think I talked about that before. That was what made me think, oh, I could do some spinning. So that's quite a nice book too. And the colours and the pictures are just really nice in that book. And this is really soft. And the thing about this Wensleydale is it's really strong. Like, it looks like nothing, but look, it's so thin, isn't it? But if I try and, oh, this is where it goes. Oh, I'm just gonna break. Look, it's really strong because of that long staple. And yeah, if you have a shawl, that's probably the worst thing on baby blankets and shawls, is that it's gonna pull and it's gonna break and then the rest of it will fall apart. But with this, that's really strong. So I'm really impressed with that. And Jane's really lovely, she's really helpful, from Home Farm Wensleydales, and they've got some really nice pictures online, and they've got some crazy Wensleydale locks. So if you're doing doll's hair or something, you'd have this really curly hair that you can dye. I dyed some with eucalyptus as well, that was quite nice. I think I'll show you this one because I quite like this. So this this is the wool from Shilasdair yarns. So it's Shetland and BFL, and it's really lovely. And this is the Ciara. The light's really bright. Ooh. So this wool is from Shilasdair yarns, and it's Shetland and BFL, and I've really enjoyed knitting it, but I did the gauge too big for a hat, so that's why I started making it into a vest. So it's got this lovely roll top, which I did a steek because I hadn't decided yet if I was going to do a hoodie or just a little top, and when I got to it I thought, oh, actually it's quite nice as a top. So that's just for my niece, and Luckily she's quite little, so that fits. But I still haven't finished her jumper, so but I think she likes this, and I quite like it, but I am gonna continue these sleeves and do maybe just a rib pattern or something. And this is from the Ciara Hat in the Cora wool, which is a 4-ply, I think. But look at that. I think that's quite cool. It's based on an Escher pattern. So I'm really happy with that. I will give you a little bit of a sneak peek of a sock that I'm knitting. Hopefully I'll have finished the pattern before Christmas so that I can put it in my Etsy shop. And I'm pretty much almost there with that. It's from the Berlin Yarn Company, so she's doing wooden tags now. They're really cute. And you can put them on your socks. So that's a little sneak peek. That's not the colour, but it's a sneak peek of what the sock's going to be like. And my friend's going to test knit that, so I'm really excited. I don't really use stitch markers much, but I noticed when I was using circulars for these socks that I thought, oh, it might be nice to have a little stitch marker. So I bought this little sheep. What's that? Out there. Anyway, you can see he's got a little bum as well. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. It came in a cute little bag. So I've been watching all these podcasts about Advent coming up and Christmas, and I thought, it's not even Christmas yet, but actually it's really coming up quickly. So what I thought I'd do is do a little Advent calendar where you get the backing of the Advent calendar, and then you get like a 5-gram mini of some wool. And I've got 24 different types of British wool, and I'm just making up some 5-gram skeins, and then you can knit up the pockets as you go. So every day you get a different wool, and they're all kind of either natural colours, or I have some red and some greens that I dyed with the clerodendron tree near me. And I do have some yarrow and some other yellow colours like dandelion. I thought I'd show you this. So I found a website recently called Northern Yarn, and oh, actually I think it's on there. And she gets her own wool made up, which is really cool. And that's all done. I think that's done in Halifax, or she might do it in different places. I'm not really sure about that. I might have to read her. I think she does a blog. And then I got this as well. So I kind of ordered some things that were just me being curious about different breeds, because there are so many different qualities to the different kinds of wool. And I got this Masham, because I keep hearing about BFL Masham. Or I think it might be pronounced Massam. I can't remember, but that's quite strong as well. And it's got a bit of a luster, but it doesn't feel like it's kind of got much elasticity. But I think it's really interesting to see what the qualities of the wool might be on a single breed before it's mixed with things. If you hop along to my Etsy shop, I've got I'm only doing a few of them, and I'll see if anyone's interested. I might do a version that's only got like 5 grams of yarn, so it's a little taster kit. Yeah, really it just came from me wanting an advent calendar of different sheep breeds. This one's a Pole Dorset, which I keep hearing about, but I think I need to get some orders in so that I can send some out. Otherwise I might end up using it myself, which is it's all just an excuse to buy a whole load of wool, isn't it? Which is, I think that's understandable. It's quite nice to find a new podcast because then you have something to watch while you're knitting. Although sometimes you have to watch it to see what they're showing you. And so I speak French, so I've been watching a few different podcasts as well in French. So I watched Okil, and he sometimes has different people on and just shows what knitwear he's been doing, and they have a little bit of a chat, and he's quite upbeat. Mimi knits, she's really cute. That's quite nice. She's a French lady, and I was watching one the other day where she's basically got a tea towel of Freddie Mercury in a frame, and she does some of her broadcasting from her bathroom. But I think it must have quite a good audio in the bathroom because of the echo, or the acoustics are good in there, aren't they? But she's done some really brightly coloured things, and she's always so cheerful. So yeah, I really enjoy watching her. I think that's all I've been watching, really. Don't feel like I've had that much time, but I did hear from some of the podcasts, I think a lot of people have thought, oh, I'll have loads of time, it's lockdown. But actually they just haven't got through things, so I'm glad I'm not the only one who's starting more projects than they finish. But, hey, I only have to do tiny sleeves on this and then that's done. And actually, that probably only took me a week because I really enjoyed that pattern. It's like simple enough that it's easy, but it's still a bit of a challenge. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that, and I just sort of put my own stamp on it a bit. I did write down the pattern, so maybe I can do a little different motif and I can write the pattern out. One of my friends had a baby yesterday, so that's quite exciting. I'm gonna have to go and have a little look at my quilting selection. I've chosen some quilt materials for a couple of little babies this year, so I'm quite looking forward to making those up. But I need to have like a whole day where I just go, right, quilts, I'll do some quilts, because I've really enjoyed doing those. And my friend sent me a little video of her baby on a little quilt that I'd given them, and they looked like they were enjoying it. Well, as much as a baby rolling around on a mat can enjoy something. He looked happy. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and if you feel free to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.